It's 2018. You're on Facebook. You open the menu, scroll down, and spot this little Protect button. Sounds like a good idea. You tap it. Millions of others do too. You're prompted to install something called Onavo Protect, a free VPN that protects your privacy. Allegedly. If only you knew.
I'm proud that we've given people who've never had a voice before the opportunity to be heard.
Facebook accused of spying
a VPN app called Onavo.
This VPN spied on almost everything users did and sent detailed data to Facebook, potentially a giant wiretap.
It gets into the root access of your phone.
Any websites you went to, any apps you used, things along those lines, everything you did on your phone was open to Facebook.
And so far, there have been almost no legal consequences.
We're heading into a no privacy future.
We're already there, aren't we?
But this story is even bigger than Onavo. It's a story about betrayal of trust, surveillance of minors, and corporate espionage, all in the race for market dominance. This is the Facebook scandal you've probably never heard of.
Double rainbow, oh my God.
When it comes to the internet, a lot of people remember the last decade as a simpler time. Those were the years of the Harlem Shake, the Ice Bucket Challenge, that one celebrity selfie. Compared to today, it all seems so wholesome. Back in the 2010s, many people still believed something that seems impossible today, that Facebook of all companies could be trusted. So when their users saw a friendly-seeming Protect button, by 2018, millions of them had tapped in. For many years, Mark Zuckerberg has been open about his goal of making Facebook the ultimate platform for connection. By 2013, that's going well. Facebook is bigger than ever and the most popular social network. In 2012, they cracked 1 billion users, and they pulled off the largest tech IPO in US history, raising $16 billion in a single day. But users in the US are losing interest, especially younger ones. They're usually the first to flock to newer apps. Zuckerberg is under increasing pressure. He really can't risk losing these users to other social media companies. So his strategy becomes, as it would later be described, copy, acquire, and kill. In 2012, he made Instagram an offer they couldn't refuse.
Americans share photos on Instagram. A company with only 13 employees bought today by Facebook for $1 billion.
The acquisition was ridiculed at the time. $1 billion for a cute photo app that doesn't turn a profit? Investment bankers were puzzled. It was a risky move right before Facebook's IPO. But the move will end up paying off, massively. Instagram will deliver billions of users and billions of dollars in yearly ad revenue. Just 6 years after the acquisition, Instagram's estimated worth will be 100 times what Facebook paid. For a while now, Zuckerberg has had another target in sight: Snapchat. The app was launched in the fall of 2011 by Stanford friends Evan Spiegel and Robert Murphy. Spiegel is the CEO, Murphy the developer. Snapchat is yet another photo-sharing app, but with one key difference. The images shared disappear after just a few seconds and can't be screenshotted without the sender knowing. Snapchat's appeal is in its impermanence. And, unlike on Instagram, the photos aren't meant to be perfect. They can be awkward, funny, and messy. Teenagers love it, and Zuckerberg wants in. At the end of 2012, he invited Spiegel for a chat. At the time, Facebook was building a competing app called Poke. It launched in December 2012 and failed badly. People briefed on the matter told the Wall Street Journal Zuckerberg then offered to buy Snapchat for $1 billion. Now, in late 2013, he comes back with a new offer, $6 billion for the app, 6 times what he offered Instagram. A huge sum for an app that's only been around for 2 years and isn't profitable, with no guarantees that it ever will be. Spiegel and Murphy mull it over but eventually decline the offer. Spiegel will later say he didn't want to make the same mistake that Instagram did.
Our view is that Instagram had been wildly undervalued, and that acquisition ultimately had given up like a massive opportunity.
Fine then. Time for a new approach. In 2013, Facebook acquired an Israeli startup called Onavo. Zuckerberg's company reportedly spent around $100 million on it. Back then, mobile data was expensive, especially in the US. Onavo was known for 2 products that saved consumers money by helping them stretch their data plans. Onavo Extend could compress emails, photos, and app data. Onavo Count allowed users to see how much mobile data different apps were consuming. Both required users to send their data to Onavo's servers. And a few months before getting bought, they had launched their latest product, a VPN called Onavo Protect. But Facebook was probably interested in the startup for more than just data compression or traffic rerouting. Originally, Facebook made money by tracking user behavior on their site. They did this with so-called cookies. Cookies are small files that websites store on your device to remember logins, preferences, and activities. This data can then be used to sell hyper-targeted ads. But smartphones changed the game. People started using apps instead of browsers. And apps often store data internally. They track behavior through app-specific systems, making traditional browser cookies less useful. Facebook was lagging behind in the shift to smartphones. It was struggling to monetize mobile usage. So it needed insights. At the time, it was hard to know how well apps were performing. You could see how many people downloaded them, but that didn't say much about how often or how exactly they were used. Onavo saw an opportunity to fill this knowledge gap. Thanks to the traffic that was routed through Extend and Count, the company was sitting on a treasure trove of engagement data. By acquiring the company, Facebook suddenly had a secret window into their competitors, and one app immediately stood out. Onavo data showed that 99% of Android users in Spain had WhatsApp installed on their phones. In the US, far more mobile messages were being sent through WhatsApp than through Facebook. WhatsApp was powerful competition, yet it also promised incredible growth. This is likely one of the reasons Zuckerberg decided to pay $19 billion for it.
Facebook is making a major move into mobile this morning. The social media behemoth is buying the messaging company WhatsApp.
WhatsApp was also both a competitor and complementary. It's a messaging app that is incredibly popular. They send billions of messages a day.
Zuckerberg made no apology for what he considers a very good deal.
Facebook also used Onavo to gain insights into Snapchat, their arch nemesis. And there was so much they wanted to know. Perhaps most importantly, which features people actually used. But there was a problem. All the traffic sent through Onavo's apps was increasingly hidden behind encryption. A year before the acquisition, Snowden revealed that the NSA was spying on the world. Concerns about online surveillance entered the mainstream, and suddenly everyone wanted more protection. As the decade marched on, the internet moved toward increased security, including Facebook's main competitors. In June 2016, Zuckerberg sent an email to 3 senior executives demanding that they figure out how to get around Snapchat's encryption. Whenever someone asks a question about Snapchat, the answer is usually that because their traffic is encrypted, we have no analytics about them. Given how quickly they're growing, it seems important to figure out a new way to get analytics about them. This effectively kicks off Project Ghostbusters. A few weeks after the email, the Onavo team comes up with a solution. Say you're at a library. You see free Wi-Fi, and since it's 2016 and your data plan is tiny, you connect. Just down the aisle sits a man in a hoodie named Elliot. He's about to hack you. He might be running a device from his backpack that pretends to be the library Wi-Fi. Or he's just quietly monitoring the network, looking for traffic. Either way, he can read the unencrypted info you send over the network and steal things like login credentials or credit card data. Elliot is a so-called man-in-the-middle. Because these man-in-the-middle attacks are really scary and easy to pull off, more and more people start using VPNs. They create a secure tunnel between the user's device and the VPN server. Along the way, all the data that passes through it is encrypted. From now on, it's harder for hackers to intercept or read your traffic. A VPN also hides your IP address by routing all your internet requests through its own. Plus, Facebook itself is promoting it, and tech experts are singing its praises. But Onavo Protect is doing something very sneaky. The following is based on an analysis by an Australian hacker who publishes under the alias HacksRob. We cannot independently verify the results. It all starts with a nudge. When you install the app on Android, it says, "Your privacy is a top priority." Then, Onavo reportedly prompts you to install a trusted root certificate on your device. Once permission is granted, the root certificate is installed. It will then be trusted by many applications on your phone. Now, whenever your Snapchat app wants to send some analytics data to their server, Onavo forces that traffic to its server first, because it's a VPN. HacksRob reports that a service called Squid places itself between the app and Snapchat's analytics server. It presents a certificate to your phone. "Yo, I'm totally legit." Your phone accepts it because of the judge powers Facebook gave itself. Yeah, this is totally legit. Normally, only Snapchat would be able to decrypt this data, but because Onavo installed its own trusted certificate, it can unlock the traffic first. Now all these Snapchat analytics from your phone get decrypted and land on Onavo's servers. Detailed in-app activity, ripe for the taking. Next, Squid uses a separate HTTPS connection with Snapchat's real server and re-encrypts the traffic. From the app's perspective, the connection appears normal. According to HacksRob, it isn't clear whether all app users were targeted, or just a subset of users. We asked Meta for a comment on HacksRob's findings, but didn't receive a response. So in a startling case of irony, a VPN marketed by Facebook to protect you, presumably from man-in-the-middle attacks, was itself an enormous man-in-the-middle. These aren't our words, they're Facebook's. This is a man-in-the-middle approach. For Facebook, the intercepted data is a goldmine. After launching Instagram stories, they observed that Snapchat's growth slows, its stock value plummets. Facebook appears to be winning the war. But it seems Onavo was useful beyond just crushing a rival. According to the Wall Street Journal, Facebook could tell that live video was picking up through apps like Meerkat and Periscope. This helped guide their decision to add live video to Facebook. But over time, their certificate shenanigans became more difficult to pull off. The security of iOS and Android improved, so Facebook had to look for new ways in. According to court filings, Facebook internally considered exploiting Android's features designed to support users with disabilities. When we asked Facebook to comment on this, they didn't get back to us. And maybe all of this could have just been forgotten, buried tech history. But over the years, the public slowly started to realize what Facebook was up to. In a sense, users were warned. In the App Store description, Onavo did tell users it was tracking them, but they framed it as a way to build a better experience. Based on that language, it's doubtful users really understood the level of access the company had. When Project Ghostbusters launched, not everyone at Facebook was on board. The heads of the infrastructure engineering and security engineering departments both expressed their concerns by email. One wrote, "I can't think of a good argument for why this is okay. No security person is ever comfortable with this, no matter what consent we get from the general public. The general public just doesn't know how this stuff works." People familiar with the technology spoke to the press anonymously. In August 2017, they told the Wall Street Journal that Facebook had an internal early bird warning system, one that alerts them to potential new threats. It's Onavo. At the time, according to Facebook insiders, "Don't be too proud to copy" became an informal slogan within the company. Speaking to the public, Zuckerberg would claim it was normal for tech companies to build off of each other's innovations. In early 2018, a security researcher named Will Strofak took a closer look at how Onavo functioned on iOS. He discovered it was even more intrusive than the Wall Street Journal had reported. Wired also warned against Onavo. Nothing happened. But then 3 months later, Apple introduced new developer policies. It strictly banned apps from collecting data about other apps on a device, unless it was strictly necessary for the app to function. Apple warned Facebook that Onavo Protect violated this policy, and Facebook had no choice but to remove it from the App Store.
Many of our competitors have hundreds of millions or billions of users. Some are upstarts, but others are gatekeepers with the power to decide if we can even release our apps in their app stores to compete with them.
But it turns out Onavo was just the tip of the iceberg. Back in 2016, next to Onavo Protect, Facebook launches a shadow operation to specifically collect data on how teens use their phones. After all, they're often the first adopters of whatever app might become the next big threat. A project later called Project Atlas is born. Facebook offers teens and young adults up to $20 a month to install a VPN called Facebook Research. This app's code is later found to be suspiciously similar to that of Onavo Protect. Once installed, the app grants access to a user's internet history, including encrypted information and private messages with other users who have never given their consent. The whole project is shrouded in secrecy. An assessment a Facebook spokesperson later disputed. There was nothing secret about this. It was literally called the Facebook Research app. However, Facebook doesn't promote the app publicly. Instead, they rely on intermediaries who often don't reveal Facebook's involvement until users are already signing up. The VPN is also not listed publicly in the App Store. Instead, Facebook leverages the Apple Enterprise Developer Program, a system meant only for companies' employees to download work apps. By having users install an enterprise profile, Facebook bypasses the security measures Apple has in place for regular users. To join the so-called research program, Users are guided through a complex installation process. When Apple's system displays a warning that the software could access their private data, Facebook tells them to ignore it. Users are told they're part of a social media study, but Facebook never discloses the true scale of the project. TechCrunch reports that users faced legal threats if they disclosed details, part of an effort to keep the project hidden. In January 2019, Facebook research was finally exposed. TechCrunch worked with security researcher Will Strafak. He analyzed the full level of access the users, many of them minors, were granting Facebook. It became clear that this access even included private videos and messages, as well as real-time location data. And all that data went straight to a server using the same IP as Onavo Protect. When we asked Meta to comment on this, we didn't receive a response. 7 hours after the article was published, Facebook told TechCrunch it would shut down the iOS version of its research app.
Facebook accused of spying and using teenagers to help them.
People between the ages of 13 and 35 were paid up to $20 a month
To spy on their phones.
photos, videos, location, web browsing history. The teens signing up to this don't know what they're getting into.
A month later,
Facebook is pulling its virtual private network, a VPN app called Onavo, from Google Play.
U.S. senators demanded answers, accusing Facebook of exploiting minors and sidestepping basic privacy safeguards. They condemned the program and questioned how meaningful consent could be when users were as young as 13. In 2023, Australia's federal court ruled that Facebook Israel and Onavo Incorporated had engaged in conduct liable to mislead consumers.
Today, the ACCC has instituted proceedings against Facebook in relation to the way it promoted its Onavo Protect app.
The two subsidiaries of Meta had marketed Onavo as a privacy tool while secretly using it to harvest data for Facebook's business purposes. The court ordered the companies to pay a combined $13 million in fines. We don't know who actually paid the fine, but for their parent company Meta, which turns a profit of way over $50 billion a year, this is pocket change. As technology becomes more sophisticated, privacy often takes a hit. It's become increasingly normal to sacrifice personal data for convenience. A lot of people are fine with facial recognition at the airport if it means shorter lines. And the more we accept these trade-offs, the more they become standard, until opting out is no longer an option. Social media makes this pattern especially stark. Over the years, heavy Facebook users have been shown to exhibit increasingly relaxed attitudes towards privacy. They're slowly growing more accustomed to sharing, tracking, and surveillance as the default. Mark Zuckerberg has said that Facebook's mission is to connect the world. He seems to hope that this will be his legacy. But maybe a better fit would be move fast, break privacy.